Prophet Marcello Currents. So this video is going to be about what all we care about as God's last day spiritual warriors. All we care about is ending America. That's all we care about. All we care about is ending America. God's true people, not no telepaths, not no psychics, not no spiritual vibrational people. We don't care nothing about them punks. Those people think they're a part of us because they're spiritual. They're not a part of us. They're not a part of Christianity. They're not a part of God's kingdom. They're on their way to hell. If you are a vibrational person, taking baths, salt baths, and all this chakra stuff, and you do not receive Jesus Christ, you're going to burn in hell. I'm telling you right now, if you die like that, you're going to burn in hell. So like I said before in the past, this is not Marcello and Friends. Like this is some spiritual cartoon where I got this collaboration with different type of spiritual positions. This is not Marcello and Friends. So like if you corny and you thought we could be friends and whatever you thought, I never gave you alliance. As psychic community, telepath community, and whatever else, witchcraft community. I ain't never give you no alliance. When I give you alliance? When did me and you officially have alliance? When was I ever part of any secret society? I am not your friend, and I've told you this a million times. Now you can play yourself and play the obsessed position that these homosexuals played. These homosexuals obsessing over me, acting like I'm with their community and I'm not, right? You could play that same obsessive position like I'm a part of your community and I'm not. I'm not a part of no spirituality community, period. Okay? We're ending America. This is what people did not expect. Like I told you, history is full of surprises. Well, guess what the surprise is in this situation? God's kingdom, God's true people in America is at war. There's a special force. I'm going to put it like this. And this is how I'm going to be saying it moving forward. There is a special force that is against America, that is God's people. And it's not no telepaths, it's not no mind readers that got this emotional hate towards America. We ain't talking about that. No, we talking about those who are truly effective in spiritual warfare that is covered in the blood of Jesus Christ. We talk about those who filled with the Holy Ghost. That's all we talk about. We ain't talking about nobody else in between. Now, a million people gonna feel however they want to feel about America. That doesn't mean me and you are together. If I don't say this, corny people, specifically corny people will think that we're together. We're not. The Bible says, how can two walk together unless they agree? How can two walk together unless they agree? We can't walk together on the same path of life unless we agree. I don't agree with homosexuality. I don't agree with transsexuals and lesbians. So how can me and you walk together according to the Bible? We can't. Because once I get to know you and you get to know me, you're going to realize you ain't going to want to be around me because I don't agree with no homosexuality and lesbianism and transsexuality. I don't agree with it. So once you get to know me, you ain't gonna want to be around me. So then you just can go away right now. Because that ain't gonna ever change. I ain't gonna never be somebody walking around with these homosexuals and trying to talk to them. So you thought because about my past background, I'll be trying to be out here and talking to the homosexuals. That's not what I'm gonna do. See, you gotta realize the real timeline of what happened between me and those people. Those people came out here and played with my life, right? They came out here and played and gang stalked and told people I was gay recently and I was not actively gay recently. That's why it's a beef between me and them. Oh, you didn't think that created a beef? Oh, it did. It created smoke. Real smoke. How you gonna come out here and tell people I'm gay and I wasn't with nobody? That's smoke, bro. Okay, that's smoke. That's smoke. And there ain't nobody in 2026 talking nothing different. That's smoke, bro. You come out here telling people I'm living gay and I ain't living gay. That's smoke. And that's why me and you enemies. It ain't just because of your sexuality. See, I advanced past your sexuality to despise you for other reasons. Being ratchet out here, playing with people's reputation. Calling people homosexuals that ain't even actively gay. That's why you're despised by me. Get over yourself. It ain't even halfway about your sexuality anymore. You know what it's about? It's about all the things you did against me. I don't want nothing to do with you. You understand, right? You understand if you're not simple-minded. It ain't got nothing to do with your sexuality. You know what it got to do with? You going out here in Brooklyn telling people I was gay and I wasn't doing anything with nobody. That's what the smoke is about right now. Just in case you thought you got away with it. You didn't. Gay people out here telling people I'm gay and you ain't gonna see me with nobody. And I know you followed me close enough to know I was with a woman. I know you know that. We enemies, and that's all there is to it. Me and you enemies, and it's your fault. Just like that. Me and you enemies. These gay people, listen, you made enemies with the wrong man. Me and you enemies, and it ain't gonna change. Okay, it's smoke, bro, and that's it. So expect all kind of stuff to happen to your community. Expect all these gay witchcraft people, all that don't think we know, that's all astral projecting into this atmosphere. All these astral projecting spirits that you don't think I know about. I hope that your silver thread is cut. I hope you bounce back out of your body and can't get back into your body. All you astral projecting bastards. I hope that your silver thread is cut and you can't get back into your body and you bounce back out of your body. You shouldn't have followed me here. You shouldn't have followed me to this house. Once you did that, it's already over. I anticipate World War III. I want World War III to happen. We don't care nothing about this world no more. All we focused on is America ending. The elite special spiritual warriors. All we focused on is World War III and this world ending. That's all we focused on. We ain't focused on nothing else. We ain't focused on nothing. No, the future. No. We ain't focused on nothing in the future. We focused on ending this country by spiritual means. So this is what we gonna do. We gonna be fasting. We gonna be fasting. And our fast is going to be to end America. Now that may see, listen, I'm only talking to the elite. I'm only talking to the high-ranking spiritual warriors. Your fasting life is about ending America. They became the enemy of Christians. So then we use spiritual weapons against these people. Now we're fasting to end America. So as we fast, there will be spiritual acceleration. As we fast, there will be destruction to this country. And there ain't nothing the FBI and ain't nothing the CIA can do about it. Ain't nothing these gang stalkers in their neighborhood can do about it. As we fast, we're going to be ending this country. This is God's elite spiritual warriors. They didn't expect this to happen. God let us play a position where we get vindication playing our position. Okay? You're going to fast to end this country. You're going to give offerings to end this country. We ain't playing no games. We ain't trying to, listen, America's the enemy, and we ain't trying to make up. We ain't trying to be good with them. We ain't trying to be cool with no Americans. All I want you to do is just shake it off. Shake America off of you. Shake America off of you. They've been gang stalking Christians. They've been gang stalking preachers. They've been gang stalking whole churches of people. I'm telling you what I know. And listen, the prophet ain't sitting up here playing games and patty caking with the Americans. And they've been gang stalking Christians for fun. Okay? We can get 100 too. You know how we can get 100 too. Well, we fasting against your whole country. We fasting for your destruction. We fasting for your community to fall apart. And I ain't got no supporters except those like Coco Wilburn. Salute to Coco Wilburn and Miss Patricia and all those like those two women. I don't deal with people that sit back and rally around like this is entertainment and you think you support me. That ain't what we do. Listen, you are not my support. Support is financial. We're in a real war. How you gonna be in a real war and standing back watching? But you ain't doing nothing in the material world. Think about a physical war. How you gonna be physically standing around watching? And it's a real war going on. That's what ignorant people do. Sitting back watching. We ain't got no love for you. If you sitting back watching me and listening to me right now, if you a psychic or a telepath, I ain't got no love for you. And it ain't gonna change. What part of that? What are you so narcissistic that you think I like you and love you? Are you so narcissistic that you think I'm attracted to you? So then why would you think I'm attracted to you? Why would you think I'm fond of you or like you or love you? Why would you think that? Because you're narcissistic. That's why. You're conceited. You think because you have a telepathy gift or a psychic gift or some spiritual gift, I like you. I don't care what gift you got. I'm looking at what has happened in our community. I'm looking at what has taken place in this world. I don't care what kind of spiritual retarded gift you got. You see what I'm saying? When you go beyond gifts, you don't even care no more what kind of spiritual gifts they got. So what? Look at the world. Look at our pockets. Your pockets on E. We emptied the pockets on empty. I don't care what kind of spiritual gifts they got. It ain't putting nothing in my pocket. Okay? I don't care about you. You're so obsessed. You don't think I'm talking to you, and I am. I'm talking to you. If you're listening and agreeing, it's you that I'm talking to. And you too retarded as telepaths to see it. I'm talking to you. You made up your own worldview on how I feel. How I feel. You so retarded, you made up your own worldview of how everybody feel. I ain't never said I got love for no telepaths and psychics and mind readers. You made up your own worldview where you fit into my world and you never did. That makes you a type of retarded. Yes, that's what we want. We want you to depart from our lives. We want you mind-reading bastards, you telepaths and psychics, to depart from our lives. We don't want nothing to do with no mind readers. We don't want nothing to do with no psychics. We don't want nothing to do with no telepaths. We want you out of our life. Even if this world got to end, we want you out of our life, buddy. See, that's how you need to say it and realize it. You want these telepaths and mind readers out of your life, even if the world has to end. If the world has to end, so be it. We gonna depart from these bastards that's been reading our mind for years and years and years. We are going to depart from these bastards. Okay, nothing ever was gonna happen because I ain't no clown. I'm all about my money. I'm all about spirituality with God. I'm all about spirituality with God. I'm all about my money. How would you have ever fit into my world acting like vigilantes and heroes and villains and retarded stuff? I ain't never made you feel I was part of that. I'm just spiritual, and you animated it on the same level of your dumb retarded animation. And basically you put my spirituality and in animation into your format of animation, which is retarded. My form of animation makes sense when I line up with synchronicity. When I walk down the street, you thought I was voguing and it was spirituality. You thought I was voguing out here and everything I was doing was spiritual. All my movements, even when I was listening to music, everything I was doing was spiritual, and you thought I was voguing, sucker. I was never voguing. You're not as cool as you thought you was. You're not as high ranking. Now you see who I am. The prophet was out there in synchronicity. You something you don't even know about. You shouldn't have came here. Because you came here, we shutting it down quicker. We shutting it down quicker. We shutting everything down quicker. Let me tell you something, man. Let me tell you something. We want America to end as soon as possible. We want this country to end as soon as possible. Okay? Ain't nothing, ain't no fun, ain't no laughter, ain't nothing going on but the rent. Right? In other words, ain't nothing but the real world going on. Ain't nothing but the real world going on, bro. We want this country to end as soon as possible. It's been over. You been knew it was over. You keep saying it over and over again as mind readers and telepaths. You been knew it was over. You're Jedi mind tricking dumb, retarded people. It's people just as stupid as you. It's been over. You knew it was over when I left South Charlotte. It's been over. Ain't no way you felt that it was just beginning when I left South Charlotte. It's been over. You sit around here like dumb ratchet niggas, sitting around here thinking this is a show. Like dumb ratchet niggas sitting around here thinking this is some show for you. I'm a 45-year-old man. I don't deal with no dumb ratchet niggas thinking everything is a show and a game. What's wrong with you? We in the real world. It's time for this to end. I'm so glad this country is over. I don't even know what to do. I'm ecstatic. I'm ecstatic when I see all the water is drying up. Yeah, go look it up. Let's talk about the winds. Let me make something very clear. All black people are not niggas. Ignorant black people in Americans that are ignorant. It's not just one race. It's not limited to one race. Anybody that's ignorant is our definition. And if you smart, you know that. Now, but if you're looking to find fault, you gonna listen. You ain't playing nobody but yourself. I know what I meant when I said it. And smart people knew, and black people knew what I meant when I said it. We tired of these ratchet niggas acting like they represent black people. That's the whole problem. You been out here ratchet as niggas acting like you represent the black community. And all you want to do is get back to doing ratchet nigga stuff. That's all you want to do. That's all you gonna equate to is ratchet nigga stuff. It's time for this to end. I'm gonna tell you how it's gonna end. It's gonna end on the head of ratchet niggas. A whole bunch of ratchet niggas that's gonna burn like roaches in hell. All these ratchet niggas gonna burn like roaches in hell. You gonna smell like roaches burning in hell. Think somebody kissing your butt. One thing I don't do, and one thing you must know, I don't kiss nobody's butt. I don't kiss no man's butt. I don't kiss no woman's butt. I don't kiss nobody's butt. No family member's butt. I don't kiss nobody's butt. Meaning I'm gonna hold you to be real and tough it up and be real with yourself. And hold you to the same level of equality that I hold everybody else to. Hold you to the same level and standards of living like everybody else. Where respect is a two-way street. I'm not kissing your butt. I'm not your mama, and I'm not your daddy. I'm not gonna kiss nobody, but respect is a two-way street, buddy. Respect is a two-way street. And if anybody sit back and expect you to respect them and they don't respect you, now think about what I'm saying, but they don't play their position in really, really respecting you. They don't really, really respect you, right? Listen, that's a person that wants you to sit back and kiss their butt. That's a community that wants you to sit back and kiss their butt. No, you can't mess with me. All these people talking about, yeah, I mess with him. No, you can't mess with me, bro. I'm not your friend. I'm your worst enemy. You are the main people that we want dead. These telepaths, these psychics, these mind reader people. We want you dead worse than with witchcraft people. Somebody told you you was good because you could read minds. You became worse as witchcraft. We hate you worse than witches. We hate mind readers worse than witchcraft people. Catch up to the dates. Catch up to 2026, where people hate mind readers more than witchcraft people. We hate you just as much. You thought you was better than witchcraft people because you read minds, don't you? We hate witchcraft. We hate telepaths and psychics and mind readers just as much as we hate witchcraft people. Okay? You got it? You understand, right? You ain't slow. So we understand the difference between a mind reader and a witchcraft person. We hate mind readers just as much as we hate witchcraft people. Okay? Because you might have thought, well, we don't do what witches do. We hate you anyway. We hate you just as much as we hate them. Let me tell you something. It's mind rape. That's what we call it. It's raping people's minds. Your mind is all you got. Imagine somebody playing around your mind. That's mind rape. That's a mind rapist. God, it ain't discernment. God wouldn't have you doing that. Why would God have you monitoring people's mind when your mind ain't purer than the next person that you monitoring? Now, if you're smart, you understand what I said. Now, if you was an angel, I would understand. If it was God, I would understand, right? But your mind ain't no better than others. So why would you think you would have responsibility over our minds to monitor our minds to see what we thinking about? It doesn't make sense as far as protocol and rank. Cleanliness of rank, right? Rank of cleanliness. Your mind just as dirty as ours, right? Being that your mind is imperfect. So why would God give you responsibility over our minds? That's for those who think they discerning and that it's a Christian thing. Why would God give you responsibility over my mind, buddy? Or for discernment reasons? Listen, buddy, listen. Discernment ain't even at the top of the list of everything. Understand protocol and levels and things and prioritize things that's most important. See, it's most important to you. You know why? Because you halfway ratchet. You halfway a busybody in other men's matters. You halfway in the world and you halfway a Christian. So you done became some deformed thing that think discernment is everything and before everything. You know what's before discernment? Respect. Respecting people's minds. Respect my mind, right? When I find you don't respect my mind, I'm going to use spiritual gifts and take care of you. Oh, see, that's where I'm on the spiritual level. If I find out as a mind reader or a telepath or a psychic and you playing with me and you don't respect my mind, guess what I'm going to do to you? I'm going to use my spiritual gifts against you. I'm going to use my spiritual weapons against you. You're going to respect my mind. Well, you ain't gonna play around my mind, buddy. If I don't care who it is. It could be family, it could be neighborhood, it could be the community of America. If you don't respect my mind, listen, I'm coming after you. Because I'm spiritual enough to know and I know what you're doing. I know when you move, you're moving according to reading my mind, right? But you're trying to trigger on me thinking you got me and you didn't. But guess what? You didn't respect my mind, so guess what I'm gonna do? I'm going to use my spiritual weapons against you. You don't, listen, if anybody is moving around you, right, and you're high ranking, I'm going to show you how stupid they are. When high ranking spiritual warfare comes against your mind, a dumb telepath will think that you had a wrong thought. And they'll get up, turn on lights, walk around, make movements to think they're triggering you, to think they got you, to think they beat you. All they was listening to was spiritual warfare. Won't you tell these mind readers half the stuff that you think is on my mind ain't nothing but spiritual warfare? Hold up, let's slow down for these people that's backsliding and using telepath and psychic energy. What you reading around us Christians that's devoted to God is, and you backsliding, you reading spiritual warfare. Ponder that. For my viewers, ponder that. Your enemy's reading spiritual warfare. They stupid. If they were smart, they would realize, well, the devil probably would throw something for us to read. If he know that's what we're doing, you don't think the devil gonna come and give you something to read? According to spiritual warfare, you don't think the devil gonna intercede and give you a lie to read? You thought you were smart, but you're stupid. All the devil did was give you something to read. That's all he did. All he did was give you something to read, and you talking about you trying to walk around here and triggering us, but we're high ranking too, right? So we realize you moving around according to what we hear the spiritual warfare, right? But we know what you thought you triggered on. So we caught you in actuality. We caught you being a mind reader, thinking you triggering us on our thoughts. You see how we got you, right? And then now we're using our spiritual weapons against you, because you read spiritual warfare wrong as you thinking you read us, but we caught you because we heard the same thing, but we exposed you as a mind reader that think you're responsible for us. You a mind reader that think you responsible for me, right? What make you think you responsible for me? I done been out on my own, living on my own all this time. You got me boxed in like I'm 25 years old, like I'm still 25. I've been living on my own all this time. I'm 45. I'm a grown man over here. How you think I've been surviving? Off of you? Apparently not. I had my own apartment for 3 years. That's what people are absent-minded. They easily forget. Like amnesia. I just been living in my own apartment for 3 years. I ain't been nobody on the street for 10, 5, 20 years. I was just in my own. But that quick they forgot, right? That quick they'll forget where you just was at. Like they treating you like you been on the streets, like you don't know how to live. You been like that for this whole time. I was in my own apartment for 3 years, cooking my own food, taking 3 showers a day, laying around on my phone just like I'm doing now, making videos and everything. With the relationship, getting DoorDash late at night. Stop playing with me, man. Then they treat you like you've been on the street for 30 years. They talking to you like you've been on the streets for 30 years, like you need to understand responsibility and working and everything. And I just had my own place for 3 years. They talking to you like you don't understand, like you 25, like you the same person you was when you was 25. I done had my own apartment for 3 years. I came down to Charlotte and was living with another woman for X amount of time here, cooking for her. My last ex-wife. Cooking her country fried steak, lobsters, pork chops, macaroni and cheese. I'm not the same little guy you once knew. And listen, some people can't accept that. Some people can't grow with you. Can you accept that? Can you accept that some people can't grow with you? Can you accept that it hurt people to accept your growth, your real growth? They know they see it in you, but they can't accept it, can they? Okay, so then you got to move on. When people can't accept your growth, whether it's jealousy, whether it's they want you to be more submissive, and you've outgrown certain positions. You now demand respect. You now deserve respect, and maybe they don't know how to give respect to you in the right way, like the rest of the community do. Then guess what that means? You got to move on. It's better, listen, it's better for you to be on your own with respect than you to get belittled with all the respect you done got from everybody else. For you to get belittled by them, it's better for you to move on. You ain't no plaything. You out here getting respect. Sometimes people don't know the only respect they know is money. Things they can see. It's other types of respect, and you've been getting it, haven't you? You've been getting other types of respect for your spirituality, for your intellectual property, for your spiritual manifestations. And listen, if your family don't believe it, and these other people don't believe it, listen, you got to depart from people that don't believe in your position. You got to depart from people who do not respect your present position and do not acknowledge your present position. If your family do not respect and acknowledge your present position, you have to depart. If your loved ones or your circle do not respect don't respect your rank, and they playing with you like you was 20, like you 25, like you still 25, and they talking to you and lying to you like you, and lying in your face like you 25. Listen, you gotta depart, bro. See, a grown man rather struggle on the streets as a grown man than live as a boy among family that don't respect him. In the black community, this is a big epidemic, and it's a big epidemic. You living with people that don't respect you. You around people that don't really respect you as a man. They don't even know how to do it. You know how to respect people as a man. You see what I'm saying? You see how sophisticated it is as a subject to respect somebody as a man, where you don't baby them. Some of you mothers, you baby grown men, your sons too much. That's why they didn't become nothing, because you baby them too much. You watching every little thing they do. It's okay if they make mistakes. Stop babying your kids every time in your presence. Babying your kids, every little move, every little thing they do, you babying them. Won't you stop babying your kids so much? Give them some room to be a man in your presence, instead of you giving down commands every time you're around them. That's why your kids don't want to be around you. You hand out commands every time you're around. And they're grown men. They can't even be a man around you. How you gonna be a man around your mother or father that's giving you commands and treating you like a boy every time you're around them? You can't even be a man. See what I'm talking about? So how you gonna be around them? And you a grown man. And you're used to being treated like a grown man, aren't you? So how you gonna be around your family handing you commands, every little move and every little thing you do, and talking to you, looking at you in your face like you're a boy? Because they don't respect you, because you ain't got no money. You can't be in that situation. Not me. People gotta grow with you. They gotta grow with you, they gotta grow up, or they gotta get left behind. They gotta grow with you. They have to. And if they was close to God, God will be telling them the same thing I'm telling them. You gotta grow with people. You gotta grow up with people. You gotta grow up in your relationship with people. You can't be treating them like they 27 years old. I'm 45 years old. So stop insulting my intelligence. Talking under your breath like I don't hear you. Stop insulting my intelligence like I'm not spiritual, like I don't hear you. See, if you was high ranking, I wouldn't have to explain. Listen, it wouldn't have to be explained to you that I'm on the same levels that you on and beyond. The difference between me and you, I ain't gotta be a nigga about it. I ain't gotta be tag teaming and talking under my breath about it and doing little spiritual, little mind reading stuff about it. I just sit back like a king supposed to, and I let you play the fool. Listen, man, we want America. We want America to understand this. It's over for you. We don't care none. Listen, man, we don't, as a black man, I do not care about who you are. I don't care what you have done in your history. Yeah, this needs to be said. I don't care about the black music. I don't care about the rap music. I don't care about the present rap music. I don't care about the rap music of the past anymore. I don't care about the R&B music. I don't care about the present R&B music. I don't care about the movies. I don't care about the movies in the past. I don't care about your culture. All that stuff that got you hanging on to America, I no longer care about it. I don't care about your country. I don't care about your military. You think I'm crashing out, but I'm not. See, real ones, we don't crash out, we spaz out. Real ones don't crash out, we spaz out. And life goes on, right? After we spaz out. Listen, man. See, if you was real, you would know what it was. If you were lame, oh, he crashing out. He sound like he depressed. No, I'm spazzing out. This is what a boss man do. A boss man gotta regulate. A boss man gotta regulate all these lame niggas out the way. Regulate them on out the way. Using mind reading gifts like we stupid. We passed that. I lived in New York. You don't think I know about mind readers and telepaths and all that little weak stuff these charlatans doing? We was up, man. Listen, listen. That's old. That's old. We off that. You know what we on right now? Spiritual manifestations. That's what everybody on, buddy. No, listen. I'm trying to pull you up to par. Because that washed up mind reading foolishness that y'all doing under y'all breath, just like Charlotte is always behind, you behind. You know what we on now? In 2026, we all about spiritual manifestations. If you can't manifest nothing, you ain't nothing. If you can't spiritually manifest nothing, we don't care nothing about it. Because we done seen the mind reading stuff for so X amount of time. Okay, we get it. You can read minds. We get it. What next? What happens next? Nothing. That's what we talk about. We are all about spiritual manifestations. The proof is in the pudding. That's all we about. If you can't manifest nothing, we ain't trying to hear nothing about your spirituality. We don't care nothing about that mind reading foolishness. We get it. You can read minds, but you can't manifest nothing. You can't take care of yourself. You ain't got no money. You can't beat your enemies. You can't do nothing. But you can read minds. That's a spiritual bum, ain't it? Y'all spiritual bums, ain't you? But I'm on the street as a spiritual prophet with getting respect and credibility. They don't even consider me a bum when I'm on the streets. So you see why I would go back to the streets to get my respect rather than be around people that's playing with me. I don't get treated like a bum on the streets. No, I don't. I get treated like a spiritual prophet, like I'm supposed to. I command my respect. I demand my respect, and I get it, right? The only reason I made a move is because I outrank these people. It comes a time where I outrank these people. I don't see eye to eye with you. Me and you don't see eye to eye. No, you thought we did, but we don't. I called you on everything you're doing. You can't call me on nothing I'm doing. Do you know what I'm doing? I'm going to tell you what I'm doing. I'm using my spiritual weapons against any mind readers and telepaths and psychic type of people. That's what I'm doing. But did you know that? You didn't know it, did you? That's what I'm talking about. That's 7 hours. But I called you on everything you was doing. It ain't no secret. We know y'all mind readers. So what? You can't do nothing with it. You can't get yourself out of your problems. You can't get no money with it. You can't beat your enemies with mind reading. How you gonna beat your enemies with mind reading? Make it make sense, bro. We call mind readers, the prophet calls mind readers one-trick ponies. It's a one-trick pony. What else can they do? It's one-trick ponies. They can't do nothing. They can't do nothing else. We get it. You can read minds. Okay, we get it. What else can you do? I got progressive intellectual property. Stuff that I've said, talk about child marriage, which shows my spiritual rank through my information. Like I've always explained this. This is how we're going to put these people to rest. Jesus Christ proved his spiritual rank through his language. If you are high ranking, the truth, I'm going to tell you the first thing will happen. When you're truly spiritually high ranking at the top, you become a center. This is my intellectual property. I didn't get this from nobody. You become a center, like something that's centered, right? And as you're centered, you become a nourisher for humanity. You can't help it. You begin to nourish humanity, inform humanity, and protect humanity. If you was high ranking, then you would be nourishing humanity. If you're not nourishing humanity and you riding around, walking around with a mind reading gift and witchcraft, you're not high ranking. If you was high ranking in the spiritual world, you would be doing what I'm doing. You would be on videos. You would be around the community. Your spirituality would lead you through different paths and different winding roads to where you nourish and inform humanity. Besides all the spirituality and all the whistles and smoke and mirrors, if you was high ranking, you would be nourishing and informing humanity as a whole. I ain't never met no high ranking person that's in the woods. Your spirituality gonna pull you out and pull you out in front of everybody. Your spirituality is gonna make you gravitate to a position where you in front of everybody. If you are high ranking, your spiritual path is going to pull you in front of everybody. How you high ranking and your spirituality don't pull you in front of everybody? Because you're not as high ranking as you think you are. That's what it is. It's all in your head. The true test is, if you were really spiritually high ranking, you could not be into yourself. You would have to be in front of everybody, because your spirituality is going to do that. I don't care what you say. Your spirituality is going to lead you into being a center for reality, for humanity. You're going to be a center for humanity. So for everybody that thought they was high ranking, all these witchcraft people, all these psychics and telepaths, let me tell you something. If you were so high ranking, you would be a center for humanity. Don't that make sense? Why would you be off center? Why would you be off center to the left if you was high ranking? Why would you be off center to the right if you see what I'm talking about? You're gonna be right here making videos, informing the people, informing humanity. That's what high ranking people do. See, I didn't have to be in a church to do it, but I'm still doing it. That's 7 Al. I'm still doing it. I'm doing what high ranking people do. I'm informing and nourishing humanity. And that's the proof of who's really high ranking spiritually. Besides all the smoke and mirrors, all these gifts and all these stories about spirituality, if you were so high ranking, your spiritual path would lead you into nourishing in humanity and informing humanity. It's no way around this. I am convinced that anybody that is really spiritually high ranking, you're going to be led to nourishing and informing humanity as a center, as a spiritual center. You're not going to be off-centered over here and off-centered over there, but you're high-ranking. It doesn't work like that. Your spirituality is going to pull you like suction, like a spiritual suction. Your spirituality is going to pull you to a path like spiritual suction to where you're in front of everybody and in front of humanity. The proof is in the pudding. Stuff you can't make up. And when you get to this center position, you see what I'm talking about? See, this is how we know who's who. Because ain't no way in the world. Listen, how you gonna be a high-ranking spiritual person, but you ain't talking to the people? Think about that. How is that possible? Your spirituality is gonna lead you into a similar position as mine. You're gonna be informing people and nourishing people with truth and information. Until then, I let people say whatever they want to say. I'm too intelligent, I'm too informed, I'm too educated to believe anything otherwise. I'll let people say whatever they want to say. A wise man gonna let people say whatever they want to say, but I'm gonna form my own opinion on my own, on what people actually are in reality. See, half of y'all got little gifts here and there. That's all you got going. In 2026, we're all about spiritual manifestations, particularly against these Americans that play with us. That's all we about right now. We ain't about who's most spiritual, and even though I'm talking about it, we're not talking about who's the highest ranking and who can do this gift and who. That's done. That's dead. What we're on right now, going into 2027, we're all about spiritual manifestations. Because as life gets real, what else is there to do? People sitting up backsliding. You need to get yourself together so you can get some manifestations. If you are watching my videos and you're backsliding, why are you playing games? How you gonna get? Look how evil the world is. Look how things is. How you gonna get spiritual manifestations? If you ain't clean, if you ain't fasting, you think it's always comfortable to fast? No, it's not. You think I love this every step of the way? No, I do not. I'm in day 3. You know, do you feel like giving up sometimes? Yes. But you don't question God? No. You don't buck the system. I got 3 days of my fasting under my belt right now. It's 3 days accomplished. Most people would stop right there. Oh well, I'm gonna just stop right there. Seem like people tripping around me anyway. I'm gonna just go ahead and stop right there. I don't know what I'm gonna do anyway. If I want to be around here or not, I'm gonna just stop right there. But see, that ain't nothing but the satanic kingdom. To try to get you off your spiritual square, to try to get you off of your block, to try to stop you from holding down your spiritual block, right? You got to keep fasting. I've been fasting for 3 days. I got a 10-day fast. Now, this time next week, I will break my fast. I got a week left. I got literally 6 days, less than a week and some hours. Now I'm getting somewhere. I got 6 days. 6 days and some hours, right? This has to be done because at this time, this war with America, with Iran, we need escalation. We're fasting for escalation. We're fasting for escalation in the Middle East. We're fasting for escalation here in America. America has lost water. Its biggest water supply has been dried up. This is the lowest amount of cattle they have had it since 1951. I'm talking about beef, right? This is the lowest amount of beef they have had since 1951. I want you to go check the water supply. If you don't think we're doing nothing, this is the path we on. I want you to go check the water supply. While these clowns are playing psychological games, I want you to go check the beef supply. The lowest amount of cattle with the Tyson Corporation closing down. With the Tyson Corporation closing down, Tyson Food, as in Tyson's Food, right? One of their biggest corporations closing down because of a lack of cattle. See, they ain't telling us. You got to go dig for this information. The Americans are very prideful. They don't want to put that on Jump Street. They don't want to put that on First Street, right? You got to go check that out for yourself. Okay? We don't have the hang-ups you think we do. We don't think about children in an indecent way like you think we do. That's you don't got that from somebody in your community. That you think other people around here doing that and thinking that kind of stuff. That's you being a clown. That's your community being a clown. That's what make you a clown. Sitting up here thinking stuff that ain't nobody thinking about. Can't be serious. You flattering your children. I think you flattering your children. Don't nobody want your children. Tell all these Americans that think somebody want their children, you flattering your children. You flattering your children, buddy. Don't nobody want your stinking children. Listen, if you are one of the spiritual warriors that are the elite, the spiritual warrior elite of God's kingdom, God got you in the front line unlike any of these other people. And listen, this is the surprise. I told you, history is full of surprises. This is one of the surprises of history. God is using me and you. Don't focus on the rest of these Christians. How all these religious people gonna be doing what me and you doing and see what we see and be spiritual like me and you? They can't do that. They religious. And there's different levels of religion. And one of the most foundational ways is when you pick and choose what you believe in the Word of God. Now you become a religious. That's the worst type of religion. You choosing this part, you choosing that part, you don't believe in this part, that's a religious person. Listen, I believe in all of it. I believe in all the Word of God. Let me tell you something. Do not expect religious people that don't believe in all the Word of God to eat. Come think about that. When God starts showing you spiritual things about His Word, right? That other preachers didn't teach you, and you get new revelation because American preachers didn't teach you, and you try to teach a person that don't believe in the whole Word of God, how they gonna go with you? When you get new revelation because these washed up preachers didn't teach you properly, but now God teaching you. But half of these people don't believe in the whole Word of God, so how they gonna be your students? How they gonna learn from you? How can you teach them? How can you give them revelation knowledge when they don't believe in the Word of God? Huh? When they don't believe in the fullness of the Word of God. When you show them Word and they don't believe it. And you see it right there as it is, but they don't believe it. Listen. Let me tell you something. We are the elite people of God. We have to stand on our own. Right? We have to stand on our own. Even when people think they know God for themselves. See, the American Christians are some of the most arrogant people in the world. Yes, they are. There's many of you that are American Christians, and you think you're the only one that know God. You think you're the only in fact you the one, you think you can play with other people that know God. You think you can step on God's people, like cause you know God, and you gonna hurt yourself playing around God's people. See, one thing I don't do. No, listen. One thing I don't do as a preacher, as a prophet, I don't play with God's people. I'm talking about God's true people. I don't play with God's people. But if you play with me and you in the flesh, listen, I'm gonna use my spiritual weapons like I'm supposed to. See, I done came out of that American Christianity 20 years ago. I know I can use my weapons against these religious people. I keep my eyes on these religious people because they some of the most arrogant ones. Because they think they know God for themselves. They think they got it all together spiritually. They think they can kill you and it's all good. They even would think they can kill you, some of these religious people. Discerning you, thinking they discerning you as a devil. Thinking they discerning you as a demonic person. But you're more righteous than they are. You living more clean than they are, but they got you sized up as a devil. No, listen to that, listen to that, listen to that. I ain't smoking no weed. I ain't smoking no cigarettes. And I'm not drinking excessively. I ain't having no sex. I ain't had sex with a woman in over a year, right? My last sex partner was my ex-wife, right? Listen, how all these Americans cleaner than you? You see what I'm saying? How they cleaner than you? Well, they think they can play with you. See, you gotta understand. You're also in spiritual warfare with some of these religious people. You're in spiritual warfare with some of these religious people. And when it comes down to America being defeated, half of them do not want, because they think goodwill towards everybody. They think goodwill towards America, right? That makes sense, right? Because most of the religious people gonna think goodwill towards everybody, including America. So then when you come along being spiritual, seeing all these spiritual wars going on, and you realize America's the enemy, these religious people gonna think goodwill towards everybody and still and think that they need to pray for America and help America, and so they're gonna esteem you being spiritual as the enemy. Because they're religious in their worldviews, right? Where they think America, we gonna just think goodwill towards America. They doing it as religious people. You understand? There's many Christians that you're out there and you're thinking, listen, you're not aware of all the gang stalking that Americans been doing against the Christians. You're oblivious. The term is oblivious. Go look up that term. You're oblivious to what has been going on with Christians and gang stalkers. So then you are religious and cliche in your perspective and worldviews of America and your interaction with America. Where you think, oh, well, we just going to think well-being towards everybody. We going to think well-being. See, a religious person is going to think no matter what they see going on, they can see the gang stalking, they can understand it. Guess what listen, a bona fide religious person can see everything going on and still feel like they're going to think well-being towards America. They can see everything going on. They can see me and you getting gang stalked. They can look at God's people that love God and see us being gang stalked and still think good well-being for America. So we can't depend on them to use their spiritual gifts like me and you do. We need people to use their spiritual weapons against America. That's what we need. We need you that's listening, we need you to use your spiritual weapons against God, against America. I don't care what. Listen, I don't care if Christians in America ban me from being a Christian. You heard what I said, didn't you? Because see, I know the word of God, where God's people goes against many nations. I can show you. Listen, for real theologians. Listen. I challenge you right now. All real. See, I'm a grown man. I'm not a little boy in Christianity. I can talk to real theologians. Real theologians. How many real wars did God's people fight in the Bible? Against physical human beings. Against physical human beings, for real biblical theologians. How many times? See, I love talking to them because they're educated. Listen, how many times did God's people fight in real wars? And you learn something from them, don't you? How many times did God's true people fight in real physical wars against real human beings? Huh? How many times? We count 10 to 16, I think it's 10 to 16 major wars, right, in the Bible. The equivalent of Vietnam against America, or America against Vietnam. It's over what, 6 to 10 or 10 to 16 real major wars in the Bible. Major wars where God's people went against physical human beings. You want me to tell you why you as American Christians don't believe in this? Because you've been so protected by America, it changed your theology in the Bible concerning you ever having to defend yourself, because you were so dependent on America defending you all these years. America protected you so good as Christians, it changed your whole theology. That's 7 out. Well, I can take it to Africa where they believe in God doing something to people. They believe in God defending them against human beings and doing something to those human beings. The reason why you don't feel like that as American Christians is because you're so used to America protecting you that protection formed your theology, your beliefs in the Bible, what you believe and you don't believe. In other words, you have been protected so good in America. You've been protected so good, it reformed your whole theology and what you believe in the Bible concerning fighting human beings. But I can show you in the Bible, the same Bible you read and believe in, the same Bible you read and believe in, I can show you major wars in the Bible. So then, are you going to ignore that? Or are you going to suppress it? Or are you going to act like it wasn't reality? Then what is your belief in the Bible? What does your belief in the Bible consist of? Those are real wars in the Bible, right? Okay, so then we know that God led his people into real wars. He was with his people. He backed his people. And now the time has come for you as God's people in America to not depend on America anymore, because they've been gang stalking you and they against you. So now the time has come for you to be like the people of old in the Bible, where you now stand up and fight as God's people against a nation. You're not the same America anymore. Now you're not the same Christians anymore. Now you have to stand up and fight for yourself against human beings in a real war. See, that's the part that you don't believe in. That you got to fight real wars as a human being. And if you don't get real serious real quick, listen, you're going to be a casualty. I'm telling you right now. See, many religious people, you're going to wind up being a casualty. And some of them are so docile, they don't care. You don't care. You don't mind being a casualty. Just go ahead and die. You don't care about dying. But for us that want to live and want to fight and want to survive, listen, you got to leave people that want to die behind. You got to leave that behind. You got to leave people that act like they want to die behind. You fighting real wars, buddy. This is a real war, and we ain't ignorant of that. We ain't playing no games with these bastards out here that's real human beings playing games with us. We realize that we cannot depend on the American community anymore when they're using their children in guerrilla warfare against us. So wake up. The whole community is against Christians because the gay community is now the fabric and the backbone of the community. If you don't know why it happened, see, this is why you don't believe it, because you believe in the old America. You think the old America is still here. So if you're not young enough, you ain't gonna know about the new America. You know what the new America is? A whole bunch of gay and lesbians. That's what it is. The new America that you in right now is not the America that you once knew. Now, the old America is why you don't believe that this stuff is going on. Because the old America is what you think still exists. You think the old America still exists, where these baby boomers and these old school people love Christians and believe in Christians. That generation gone. That generation in the house. The new generation of Americans are gay and lesbians. Now you see why this energy is the way it is. It's a whole bunch of, listen, for people that's older, what you didn't realize while you was getting older, and I say that respectfully, is that there was a whole nother generation being born of Americans. They done grew up. And because the years done went by, and maybe you was preoccupied with your own life, you didn't realize that 10, 20 years done went by. Just like that. And there's a whole nother generation of people out here that you are not conscious of. You are not conscious of it. That's what it is. And the younger generations are conscious of it. I'm way more conscious of it. Of what kind of people we dealing with. You know what kind of people we dealing with? Witchcraft, gay and lesbian, homosexuals. That's what we dealing with. Homosexuals and lesbians using witchcraft. I'm more conscious of it being from a younger generation. So that's why they're against us as Christians, because it's a new generation that's out here on ground level. The foot soldiers of America, or the ground level people walking around in America, is younger generations, right or wrong. So that's everybody walking around is gonna be what? Under their 40s, right? Not their 50s and 60s. The younger generations is gonna be walking around, right? They gonna be the ones that's populating the whole energy, the overall energy of the community. Who's the overall energy of the community? Gay and lesbian people. They use witchcraft, right? That's why it feels the way it feels. That's why you getting so much opposition. Now I conceived it. That's the conception of what I needed to say. This is why you're getting so much opposition. It's because you're dealing with a new generation of homosexuals and lesbians that despise and hate Christians. That's what it is. What you need to realize is the American brand is gay now. The American brand is lesbian now. And some of us have been homosexuals and lesbians. But if you simple-minded, you think we just stuck on it. If you're simple-minded, you think, you're stuck in the past. The stuff I did started 10 years ago in 2016. When a gay man came on to me without my consent for the first time. The first time a man touched my body was 10 years ago. Keep up. The first time was 10 years ago. 2016. Literally, that was a decade ago. Y'all stuck on stupid thinking about stuff that was 10 years ago, that started 10 years ago. I can't help you keep up. You gotta listen. I can't help you be a sophisticated person that knows how to think and keep up. The stuff that I went through, initiated was that was initiated 10 years ago. You acting like it happened 3 years ago. That was 10 years ago when it was initiated. A decade ago? That's like from the 70s to the 80s or the 80s to the 90s. We in the 90s and you talking about something in the 80s. We in the 90s and we in the 2000s and you talking about something in the 90s. That's what you sound like, talking about something that started 10 years ago and I'm no longer doing. And you know what I'm on now? I'm gonna tell you what I'm on now. What I'm on now is realizing that these gay and lesbians that think they hiding from us, but they not hiding from us. Listen, they the main ones leading the pack. If you ain't heard nothing else in this message, they the main ones leading the pack against Christians. These gay and lesbian people. Okay? That's what it is. It's these gay and lesbian people that's against the Christian community. That's why it feels like it do outside, and you got all this opposition. You getting gang stalked, and you a Christian, you a good Christian. You know why they don't care? Because they despise Christians. You know why these people that's gang stalking you don't care? Because they are against Christian people. I'm telling you what I know. I lived in New York City. I lived in California. I would like to think that my opinion holds a little weight, being that I done lived all around this country. In the past year, I done been all around this country. In the past year and a half, I done been in the past 2 years, I done been in California, New York, North Carolina. Back and forth, right? How you think my opinion don't matter? When I'm looking all around and looking at it, seeing all this stuff all around everywhere. My opinion, if you don't know, for my viewers, my opinion is based off of me living in California, Florida, North Carolina, and New York City. I lived in New York for the first time 12 years ago. I lived in Harlem, I lived in Brooklyn, I lived in Queens, and Staten Island. I lived in Los Angeles in California. I lived in Sacramento, San Jose, Santa Cruz. And I done migrated through other cities in California. And San Francisco, I lived there too. And I lived in Seattle, Washington. Okay? And I done passed through most major cities. Las Vegas. This is traveling, just passing through. New Orleans. I can say I done been through New Orleans, Chicago, Las Vegas, you name it, Phoenix, Dallas, Texas, you name it, Houston, Texas. I done been to Houston, Texas. You name it, man. Miami. You name it. Memphis, Tennessee. I done been through Memphis. Washington, D.C. You go through D.C. coming from New York to North Carolina to Charlotte. I done seen the Capitol and all of that coming down through here from New York to D.C. New York to North Carolina. Okay, so my eyes are open on the whole country. I done been around this whole country. I done seen Chicago with the two stadiums side by side. I done been through Chicago, passed through Chicago. Chicago, Illinois. Detroit, I got family in Detroit. I done been through Detroit. Okay? So you're not just listening to someone that, and I know my situations look rugged, but you're not listening to someone that just been in a standstill for X amount of time. You know, I've been all around this country. So moving forward, for all my viewers, that's what my opinion and my analyzation, if you will, is based off of. All my travels, all the places I lived, all the people I seen, all the humanity I see. It's based off of all my travels. In other words, I ain't sitting behind a rock talking about something that I seen on the internet. I'm telling you that stuff off of my experiences, stuff off of my observation out here in this community. It's the gay and lesbian witchcraft community that is against these Christians. That's who against the Christians. That's the main ones, and you got to read between the lines. You got to pay attention. That's who against the Christians. It's these gay and lesbian people. Because like I explained and I taught before, smart gay and lesbian people know that they cannot access the spiritual world as a Christian because they're not Christians, right? So how they gonna get manifestations? They have to use witchcraft to access the spiritual world. They have to use witchcraft to access the spiritual world to get manifestations. A lesbian cannot activate the spiritual world on God's side. On God's side, a homosexual cannot activate the spiritual world. That never had a relationship with God, never knew God, they cannot activate the spiritual world. So then the smart homosexual and the smart lesbian is going to say, I know I'm not a Christian. I know God ain't on with me. So how I'm gonna get blessings? How I'm gonna get spiritual manifestations? I'm gonna go and use witchcraft because I know I can't access the spiritual world on God's side. See, I just taught you something you need to realize. This is why witchcraft in the gay and lesbian community is at an all-time high. The reason why it's at an all-time high is because they cannot access the spiritual world on the divine side of God. So how they gonna get blessings? How they gonna ward off spirits and ward off stuff and navigate spiritually? They have to use witchcraft. That's why the younger generations that's 40 and under, or you could say even 49 and under, 49 years old and under in America, that's gay and lesbian, most of them are using witchcraft rampantly. What I'm trying to show you is rampant in the gay and lesbian community, because the epiphany that they get is that, hey, I can't use spirituality. I can't pray and seriously get something from God. I'm a homosexual or I'm a lesbian. How am I gonna get blessings from God? So I ain't gonna even act like I can do that. I'm gonna go where I can get manifestations, which for them is gonna be witchcraft. So a gay person know they ain't getting no blessings from God, so they gonna go use witchcraft so they can get manifestations. A lesbian that's smart knows she ain't living right according to that Bible. Not according to Christians. She's smart enough to know she ain't living right outside of our opinion. It's according to that Bible. It ain't got nothing to do with me. She can read that Bible for herself and see what it says outside of me, right? The smart lesbian realizes that. And guess what she does? She decides to go to witchcraft so she can get manifestations. Okay? I'm just letting you know how it is in the real world out here in New York, out here in California, out here in this whole world, in this whole country. Not just Charlotte. These gay and lesbian people are rampantly into witchcraft so they can get manifestations. It's common sense. A straight man that got a family, all he got to do is repent and get himself clean, and he can start manifesting, living for God. A gay man living with another gay man can't do that. Once again, a straight man, a heterosexual man or a heterosexual woman, all they got to do is repent. If they're married, right? All they got to do is repent, and they can start manifesting instantaneously. On God's side, they can start manifesting on God's side as heterosexuals once they repent, and they instantaneously they can start manifesting. But a lesbian living with another woman, she ain't gonna never manifest on God's side anything spiritual. There is not gonna be any spiritual manifestations. So then how is she gonna manipulate the spiritual world? With witchcraft. A lesbian has to use witchcraft. That's why the average lesbian is a witch. That's the punchline. The average homosexual is a warlock. Pay attention to these young gay people. Don't they all look like they use witchcraft? Pay attention. Open your eyes. They look gay, but they also look like they into witchcraft, don't they? They look like lesbians, but can't you tell it's something else going on with especially when you hear them talk about in their conversation, right? It's something else going on, ain't it? They can only get spiritual manifestations with witchcraft. The point is, this is why it's the end. Because now there's a whole structure outside of manifestations. There's a whole structure of gay and lesbian community that has basically is the backbone for America. This is basically the backbone for America, right? Over time, it became the backbone of America. And you are, like I said earlier, you are despised as a Christian. You are despised, right? That's why we're eventually going to get boxed out of the system. They're going to box us out the system. It's already happening. I just turned down housing where I could have had housing. I don't even got to be in this situation. I still don't got to be in this situation. I don't got to be in this situation. That's why I'm on a whole nother level of faith, and I can't let nobody play with it. Because I know what I'm doing. I know what I could have had. I know what I'm doing. And I know the step of faith I took. I know that I had to walk a righteous path and turn down an apartment that was filled rampantly with homosexuals. And I decided to walk away. See, it's a new day where now your enemies are going to put you in front of homosexuals and lesbians. And you got to say, I got to turn down this opportunity. No, you can't be like these go-getter Christians in America where you don't turn down no opportunity. No, you got to start turning down opportunities. We talking about the righteous people. We talking about God's righteous. You're going to have to start turning down opportunities. And see, some of y'all ain't built like that. You ain't turning down nothing. And guess what that's going to lead you? It's going to lead you out of the will of God. It could put you in all kind of dangers and snares and trouble. moving into the future. Moving into the future with the gay and lesbian community being the backbone of this community, you gonna have to turn down some opportunities, because the fabric of those opportunities is either homosexual or lesbian. I had to turn down an opportunity of living. I could have had my own apartment. I could be in it right now. I could have been in my own apartment right now. Do you hear me? As a grown man or a grown woman, do you hear what I'm saying to you? It's nothing stopped me from doing it. It was right there. It was no hoops to jump through. It was no tedious process left. I could have had that apartment. I could have a place to stay right now. You don't get it, do you? You don't get it. See, this is the next level of faith where people think you crazy. But I know what I know, right? From seeing it from my eyes, hearing it from my ears, I know that wasn't a good opportunity. I know that was a satanic opportunity. You can't help that gay people stay in your neighborhood. That's one thing. But it's another thing for them to intentionally put you in a gay building on purpose. And that's what they was trying to do. They all in emergency housing. I was living in emergency housing for like 6 months. That was rampant with gay people. They was waiting for housing in apartments. So then a smart person realizes it ain't nothing but gay people going that way into housing. It's in emergency housing, waiting for housing, right? In New York, that's what I was doing. In Brooklyn. Okay, it was nothing but gay people there. A smart person gonna realize, well, in the apartment ain't gonna be nothing but gay people in the building. And I've outgrown that. See, now you get into another level of faith. Many of you, you're gonna be just like me. Especially if you being gang stalked, they're gonna play with you. They're gonna try to box you out with opportunities. They're gonna box you out with putting a whole bunch of gay and lesbian stuff in front of you, and you gotta say no. Because the gang stalkers are with the gay lesbian community. They all together in cahoots together. The gay and lesbian, witchcraft, and gang stalkers. Gay, lesbian, witchcraft, gang stalkers. You got to turn down opportunities. You got to turn down some opportunities. You got to say, nope, I got to suffer for Jesus. See, some of y'all, listen, I'm telling you, before you go any further, you got to start getting your spirit in the position where you're willing to suffer for Jesus, where you're willing to turn down opportunities. And you're willing to go hungry. You're willing to be out in the elements. You're willing to be out in the streets to suffer for Jesus. No, listen, man. The rubber is meeting the road. It's getting real. It's getting real out here. And the devil is trying to set people up to where you're in positions that is not of God. And down that road, he's hoping to get you a spiritual sabotage, where he can attack you and shipwreck you spiritually and send you to hell through taking the wrong opportunities. You cannot think dumbly and stupidly. You gotta clear your mind and be alert, and don't act like you 90 years old, like you a 90 years old woman or a 90-year-old man. Open up your ears and clean out your eyes. Right? I just came from New York. How somebody gonna think my eyes ain't open and my ears ain't open? That's how you move in New York. I had to keep my eyes and ears open. And I'm telling you, based on me keeping my eyes and ears open, somebody that lived in New York for over 12 years, ain't no way in the world you're going to be able to take every opportunity that comes your way moving forward. No, you're not. you're going to have to suffer for Jesus, because they're going to do it intentionally. If you being gang stalked intentionally, they're going to put you in situations of compromise. That's the new evil we dealing with people intentionally. I said intentionally. They're going to intentionally put you in situations to make you compromise your spiritual position. It's a whole format, it's a whole system and structure. That's how you know it's almost over. Because the gay community basically makes up, and those aligned with it, and those in alliance with it, they make up the structure of America. And guess what that means? Before long, you're going to be boxed out. You see where we're going, right? You see where we're going. And not only that, witchcraft, mind you, all these, being that the gay and lesbian community is using witchcraft, they gonna despise you as a Christian, being that they the backbone of America as gay and lesbian people. So let's put it all together. If gay and lesbian people are the fabric and backbone of this country, and we covered that they have to use, glory to Yahweh, hallelujah. We covered that they have to use witchcraft to get manifestations. Being that they are the backbone and structure of this country, that means witchcraft is the backbone of this country. That means you being a Christian and the backbone of this country is now witchcraft, because the gay and lesbian community is using it to get spiritual manifestations. They gonna box you out as a Christian. They gonna hate you and despise you as a Christian. They gonna do evil things on purpose to you as a Christian, and you don't even know what's going on. I'm telling you what's going on. We're being boxed out. This is the beginning before the mark of the beast, before the new world order. Basically, listen, ain't the mark of the beast about boxing God's people out the system? The mark of the beast as a system is about boxing God's people out the system. You can't sell without that mark. You can't buy nothing without that mark. That means you can't have no cell phone without the mark of the beast. You won't have internet access without the mark of the beast. You can't have a house without the mark of the beast. You can't drive a car without the mark of the beast. You can't buy food. You can't get your hair done. You can't do nothing. Ultimately, Satan is going to box out righteous people that receive Jesus Christ after the rapture. You who receive Jesus Christ after the rapture will be boxed out the system, because you won't receive the mark. So then you're going to be boxed out. So before that happens, there's going to be a conditioning to box us out now, to start boxing us out now. So before the mark of the beast, where we get boxed out as righteous people, let's just say us as a collective people, we'll be in heaven, but that'll still be our people, those who receive Jesus Christ after the rapture. So that's us, that represents us as well. Before we're boxed out, I speak of us as together. Before we're boxed out the system as God's people after the rapture, there's a preconditioning now to start boxing us out now. You see what I'm talking about, right? They're boxing us out now. Why you think you can't get nothing done? Why you think you can't get this? Because the boxing out of God's people has begun. They have began to box us out the system. And ultimately, the mark of the beast is going to be issued, and a righteous person ain't going to be able to get nothing. So then the smart, the spiritually intelligent, common sense person realize they're going to start conditioning. Satan is going to start conditioning the community to start boxing righteous people out the system. He already doing it. He ain't going to just jump to it, right? He ain't going to just jump to, well, you can't get this mark. You can't get nothing. There's already a conditioning where we box out these righteous Christian people out our system. We gonna start getting them out. See, Satan gonna start. He's already working on the minds of the people to start getting. No, don't do nothing for them. Don't help them. Oh, they ain't how it is right now, where it seems like America don't want to help Christians. America don't want to help righteous people. America don't want to help spiritual people that they know spiritual. They already working on you. The devil is already, his kingdom is already making them not halfway want to help you. They don't want to help you. You know who helping you? Christians. That's who helping you right now. If you keep it real with yourself, right? If you really God's people, who's really helping you? God's people. That's who helping you. That's why you can't never trip on us, and you can't never listen. You can't never, ever think you know what's going on all the way with another servant of God. All you know is this person is a Christian, and you know they got enough credibility to be considered a Christian, and that's how you leave it. You don't try to figure them all the way out like that, because see, you get into divination yourself. You get into witchcraft and telepathy yourself when you're trying to figure out a whole servant of God. You don't need to figure out no whole servant of God. You don't need to be doing that. You're going too far. You're going too far in divination. You're going too far in witchcraft. You're similar to witchcraft. God will make his servant stand. God will make his servant stand in righteousness. Ultimately, God will make his servant stand. All you got to do is pray. But if you know this Christian got credibility, won't you stop questioning somebody with more credibility than all these other people? How much credibility I got as a Christian? So how can you doubt me? How can you doubt that I won't get back up and do the right thing? How can you doubt that maybe he got something still going on? I'm going to tell you what's doing that. It's a spirit that's doing that. It's a spirit that's making you think that. When you know how credible I am as a Christian. You see what I'm talking about? You see how they do you. And see, it's almost like they boxing you out of being a Christian. The Americans will even try to box you. No, you know what I'm talking about. Where they won't even really give it to you that you're a Christian. You don't let nobody box you out of being a Christian. I don't care what they talk about. I don't care what you done. You ain't doing it no more, right? You ain't doing the stuff you used to do. Okay, so you don't let nobody box you out of being a Christian. It's a personal relationship with Jesus. Listen, you gotta stand on your own with Jesus. You don't let nobody act like you still doing the stuff you was doing and you ain't. If they can't keep up, they can't keep up. You ain't doing it no more, are you? Okay then. So why is it thought about? People stuck on stupid, right? That's what we call it. We're not stuck on stupid, right? Okay, so you're not doing this stuff no more. Okay, boom. Right. So you're living righteous, right? You're fasting, you're seeking the Lord, right? Okay, so the rest of the little stuff that you got going on, right? That's not God gonna work on you with that. But you living clean, but you ain't out here in these streets. You ain't doing no drugs. You ain't having no promiscuous sex, right? God will work on you with the other stuff. You can't make people act like that's big stuff that like you ain't a Christian because of that stuff. All this other stuff where they think you got hangs up and all that, that ain't gonna listen, you still a Christian though. That part, you still living for God, right? That part. So you don't let nobody hang you up on some little stuff they think you got they think you got some hang-ups here and there, and that's stopping you from being a Christian. You are actively living for God. And you stand your ground as a man or a woman, and you are actively living for God. People got to stop playing with you. You actively living for God. You tell America, I'm actively living for God. I don't care what you think. So look, man, this is the conclusion. All we care about, after all these people have done to God's people, now you see what happened. All these gay and lesbian people spending out money to gang stalk us. Oh, they spent all kind of money to do it. They spend hundreds and thousands of dollars to gang stalk us. Now all we want to see is this country be defeated. Now that may make you withdraw from everything I just said. But when you understand what all that has happened, what else do you expect to happen in the realistic world? Not the ideals, not what we wish, that there will be revival and all these ideals and things that we would want to happen. What a reality you think should happen if men keep using their free will to attack us. And it's not God's will for us to be persecuted. See, I teach this. Persecution is either allowed or not allowed. You don't just get to persecute a Christian. You don't just get to persecute a prophet. If that persecution is not allowed, your country is in trouble. Because the first thing they're going to say, oh, that person being persecuted in the last days for God, for Jesus Christ. If God allowed it, if Jesus Christ the Messiah allowed it, but if he did not allow that persecution, your country is in trouble. If he did not allow your family to persecute you, they gonna be in trouble. If Jesus did not allow your neighborhood to persecute you, then they gonna be in trouble too. If he did not allow Charlotte to persecute me, Charlotte gonna be in trouble. If he did not allow North Carolina or America to persecute me, you're in trouble. As a prophet, from my experience, I teach that if the persecution is not allowed, you're in trouble. If an individual is persecuting you or playing with you and God did not allow them to do it, if God did not allow that persecution, they're going to be in trouble. Oh, you want my scriptural biblical basis on it? Touch not my anointed, and do my prophets no harm. Touch not my anointed, and do my prophets no harm. Where's the persecution in there? If you think all Christians are supposed to be persecuted, then why would God say, touch not my anointed, if all Christians could just be persecuted? If you could just touch them and do what you want to do, then why would God say, touch not my anointed, and do my prophets no harm? Why would he say it? So obviously, if he tells you not to do it, and you do it, something gonna happen to you. You should expect that. And it don't matter, listen, it don't matter if you was that person's family. It don't matter if you was a part of that person's nation or society. You was a fellow citizen. You could be a fellow citizen or a family member. God says, touch not my anointed, and do my prophets no harm. I don't care if you raised them. I don't care if you they daddy, stepdaddy, mama, or stepmama, or whoever you are, uncles or aunts or whatever. You could be an older brother that raised a younger brother, and you think you got some seniority over this person, some authority over this person. The Bible says, touch not my anointed. And it don't matter if you was family or not. God said, touch not my anointed and do my prophets no harm. Many of you that are being gang stalked, and you are also God's people, because all people that's gang stalked are not God's people. If you are God's people and you have been gang stalked, I want you to get ready for people starting to drop dead and getting sick for playing with you. Listen, man. God don't play no games. We play games as human beings. God don't play any bit. Listen, the prophet comes first, because by the time God comes, he ain't gonna talk to nobody. He sends me first to talk. When he shows up, he's doing no talking. More than half the time, by the time God comes into a situation, he's not doing any talking. He knows us through and through. What is there to talk about? If God knows you through and through and knows this community through and through, what is there to argue about? What is God gonna argue about with you? He know you through and through. He know everything about us. So why would he go back and forth with you? God ain't going back and forth with you. He sent the prophet to sit down here and go and tell you this and tell you that. By the time God comes on the scene, listen, buddy, ain't no talking being done, buddy. That's Almighty God. He know you through and through. What he gonna talk to you about? When he know everything about you and he know what you really doing and he know who you really are. What is he gonna talk to you about? When are you him gonna talk about? Nothing. He sends the prophet before he shows up. That's why you see a prophet, you already know it's a problem. Anytime you see a prophet come on the scene, you already know it's a problem. Because that means God is about to show up. That's 7 out. When God sent a prophet, it's already a problem. More times than not, it's already a problem. Especially when you're talking like me. When you're talking like me, it's already a problem. And that means God is about to show up. Yes, it does. Touch not my anointed and do my prophets no harm. That's what God has said. If you have done that as gang stalkers, if you have touched God's people mentally, it's a problem. If you're a goofy person and you think, well, we ain't physically do anything, didn't it say no harm? No harm means no type of harm for the slow telepaths or psychics. No harm means no type of harm. Touch not my anointed and do my prophets no harm. That means mentally, no harm mentally, no harm spiritually with witchcraft and divination and telepathy. That means emotionally. That means relationally. Do my prophets no harm. And if you have, you either repent or it's a problem. Okay? And it doesn't matter who you are. And it doesn't matter who you are to that person. You could be a mother or a father. You could be an uncle or a granddaddy. You could be a granddaddy, for crying out loud. You could be a great granddaddy. Touch not my anointed and do my prophets no harm. You could be a great grandmother. touch not my anointed, and do my prophets no harm. That means physically, relationally, because see, some people, you don't grow up to them. You don't never grow up to some people. To your grandparents, to your certain people, you don't never grow up to them. And see, when you grow spiritually, they got to back up off you. Yeah, they got to respect you. If it's not for any other reason, your spirituality. They can't kick you around like a dog and play with you like a dog, like you still a little baby. No, they got to respect you, if not for any other reason, your spirituality. Or it's going to be a problem. It's that simple. It's that simple. If they ain't finding no other reason to respect you, maybe you didn't work enough in your life. They don't respect you because you was lazy. Maybe, but they gotta respect you because you spiritual. And if they slow and simple-minded, listen, they gonna look at, well, you was lazy, we don't respect you. Well, you was this or that, we don't respect you. Well, I'm spiritual. And if you don't respect me as a spiritual person, you're gonna lose. I'm telling you right now. Maybe you was a lame in the streets. Maybe you was a wankster, but you became a Christian. But your family felt like you was a lame, but you spiritual. If they don't learn to respect you as a spiritual person, but you was a lame in the streets, but you was a wankster, but now you spiritual, and if they apply that same wankster energy that was on you before you became a Christian, they're going to play themselves, and they're going to be the ones that suffer. They're going to see you as the toughest soldier that they've ever seen in these streets playing with you. They're going to see the toughest soldier come out of you that they ever seen in these streets. I'm telling you how family is. They'll label you as well, he was a lame in the streets. Oh, now he a spiritual soldier. Now he a Christian. You can't play with him like you used to. You can't doubt this person like you used to. You can't size him up like he Bart Simpson like you used to. This person has become a spiritual warrior. Touch not my anointed. Do my prophets no harm. See, the problem is people want to size you up in your humanity of who you used to be as a human. But you're spiritual, right? They got to size you up spiritual, not based on who you used to be in your humanity when you was growing up and as you was a teenager, as you was a young man or whatever. They can't size you up like that. That's where they making the mistakes. That's where they making all the mistakes, and they not paying attention to telltale signs that you have become a very powerful, high-ranking spiritual person. And like I said, to some people, you never grow up. To your mama, to your daddy, to your parents, you never grow up. But they have to respect your spiritual position. They can't play with you just because they brought you into the world. No, they cannot. That's that old school foolishness. You think well, I brought them into the world, I'll take them out. Not no anointed prophet. You won't be taking out no prophet. You won't be taking out no anointed person. You out your mind. It don't matter if you brought them into the world. That's God's child. You gonna hurt yourself playing around God's child. Now you see what I'm saying? And see, some people have a hang up with respecting other people. They can't really do it. They gotta be the center of attention. Whether it be mothers or fathers, they can't learn to be on an even playing ground where everybody has mutual respect, where there's not no condescending position, where everybody's just being respected. See, some of your parents can't follow you to that level. No, they can't. They got to be around you talking all about how you need to do this and you need to do that and all this stuff all the time. They can't just they can't respect you as a man and just let you chill. They can't just let you chill as a man. Some of you parents, I'm going to tell you what your problem and your hang up is. You can't let your children chill as men and women. You gotta always be talking about what they used to be like when they was kids. Why you can't talk about who they are now? Why you can't appreciate the last things that happened in the past 10 years? Why you gotta always be talking about when they was babies? Why you gotta be always handing out some commands or some instructions? Because you have not grown to respect them as adults. You have not grown to see them on an equal playing ground where a grown man or woman just need to chill sometimes. Listen, I'm telling you what I know. If you don't want to lose your family, if you don't want to lose your children, you have to grow with your children. If you don't want to lose your children, I'm telling you, this is word to the wise for all parents. If you don't want to lose your children or lose the respect of your children, you got to let your children chill. You got to respect them. You got to let them chill. And you got to respect them just like you would want somebody to let you chill as a grown man or woman. You got to look at it just like that. That chill, kind of like chill off somebody because they grown kind of energy. Kind of chill off somebody because they grown. You got to be like that. If you want to grow with your children, you don't want to lose your children. You got to learn to chill off your children. Like you chill off a grown man. You know when you done went too far and done said too much with a grown man or woman, right? Well, okay, I just need to chill back, right? Some of y'all don't do that with your children. You don't chill back like you would on a grown man or grown woman. That's all I'm saying. So, like I said, these are the issues that we're facing as God's people. These are the issues we facing as God's people. You have to realize the old America is gone. This old America is absolutely gone, right? You got now a gay and lesbian America. That's what it is, whether you accept it or not, that's what it is. It's a gay and lesbian America. Okay? They have, many of them do not have no love for no Christians, low key, and you don't know. They don't have no love for us. They're against us. Some of them are proactively against us using witchcraft, and most of them are gay and lesbian, studs and butches and dykes and all of that. Transsexuals, they love to use witchcraft. All these transsexual men using witchcraft against Christians. Okay? I'm just letting you know the real condition of the battlefield so you don't become a casualty. Okay? You can't become a casualty by just going out here not knowing how to navigate in the community, thinking, well, we just don't, America is okay. Some of America, it's not everybody. It's enough of the community against us for us to declare war against the Americans. It's enough of them against us for us to adjust ourselves in spiritual warfare against them. It's enough of them against us for God to take attention and to bring judgment on this country. They've been gang stalking us all over the whole country. They've been gang stalking us all over the whole country. That ain't enough to get God's attention. That's why you cannot listen to everybody. You got to listen to people that's on the front lines. You got to listen to spiritual people that's out here, that's living for God. Because I'm going to tell you one thing I know is that when I was backslidden, I couldn't hear everything I needed to hear. I couldn't see everything I needed to see. It was only when I started fasting specifically that I began to see that I'm not a part of America anymore like it used to be, where it was kind of cool like that. When I started fasting specifically, not just prayer, when I started turning down my plate and fasting, I began to see clearly that I'm not part of them. You know why? Because most of them are in alliance with gay people, and my spirit was pushed away from them with the fast. The fast pushed me away from them. The more I fasted, I was pushed away from collective America. You see what happened? Will people act like you going crazy against America? No, my spirit began to push away America away from me when I started fasting. And the reason why most of them pushed away from us is because they are in alliance with homosexuals and lesbians. See, you can't even be in alliance. You can love everybody, but you cannot offer alliance. And that's what America is doing. They went beyond loving gay people and loving lesbians. They went to alliance. And many gay people and lesbians, they don't want just love, they want alliance. And half of this country is offering alliance. You can't offer alliance to them as a Christian. You can offer only love. The Bible says you owe no man nothing but to love them, right? That means you don't owe them alliance. You don't owe gay and lesbian people alliance. You don't owe them alliance. See, that's where it's all misunderstood. You got to read between the lines. These gay people want you to accept how they're living. Look at their conversation. They're going to tell you about all how they came up, how they became gay, how they started feeling gay, etc., right? They're trying to get you to accept their lifestyle. They want alliance. Listen to their conversations. Listen how they carry themselves towards America. All they looking for, look how they establishing themselves in all these places, in these theme parks, gay days in these theme parks like Carowinds and outside of Charlotte. All they looking for is alliance. More than anything else, at face value, they ain't looking for love. Half of the world don't got love anymore. More than ever before in 2026, gay people are lesbians are looking for alliance. They know everybody don't got love, like from the family, like that kind of love. So what's the next best thing? Alliance. You see why alliance is at an all-time high? Because love is gone. When love is gone, like I teach, what runs the world is respect. That's what's running the world now is respect. Love is gone. The next thing in line is love, is respect that runs the world. Right? That's one foundation. For the gay community, now that love is gone and respect basically runs the world. Now they know they can't find love. They looking for alliance from everybody. And now you see how alliance just went off and they established things and they got things done because that became the new way of the world is respect and alliance, no longer love. So you as a Christian, you can offer all the love you want, and that's not what they used to, and that's not what they're looking for. They looking for you to condone the way they live. They looking for you to condone it. They looking for you to condone them living a certain way. That's what they expect you to do. You can't do that. You can't condone how they live. Like these celebrity Christians, condoning gay lifestyle, condoning gay. No, you cannot condone it and have the spirit of Jesus. No, you can't. No, you can't. But you can offer love. And so some Christians think that you're giving love, but you're giving alliance. You cannot give alliance, you give love. You got to understand the difference. You got to mature yourself and understand and have those mature conversations with these people. I can offer you love as a Christian, but I cannot offer you alliance. I cannot condone what you do and how you live. Even if I lived it, I cannot condone it. You can't be simple-minded because I lived it, I'm going to condone it. I'm living a Christian life now. You can't be simple-minded. That's on any sin. I can't condone it because I used to do it. I can't condone smoking weed because I used to. I can't condone promiscuous sex because I used to do it. So the gay lifestyle or the lesbian lifestyle is no different. We can't condone it because we used to do it, just like any other sin. We can't condone it because we used to do it. You can't be simple-minded. That's simple-minded of you to think because somebody used to do it, then they should halfway condone it. That's simple-mindedness. Yes, it is. Yes, it is simple-mindedness. Because if it wasn't, then you would think, you would have a couple extra thoughts and think differently and think, well, that person ain't doing it no more. So why? He living a Christian life, so why would he condone it? Even though he did used to do it. The sophisticated-minded person is going to say, why would he condone it? He ain't doing it no more. And he living a Christian life. Now you see what I'm saying? You've been simple-minded the whole time. Well, he used to do it. Well, he ain't doing it now. He or she is not doing it now, are they? Okay, so then you're just being a little simple-minded, that's all. If you think that because he used to do something or he or she used to do something that's they supposed to understand or have some kind of alliance or have some type of special feelings differently than what a Christian should be like in this context. No, I should be like this. With any sin, I can't condone anything I used to do. We can't have alliance with it. We can offer love, but we cannot have alliance. Okay? That's how you navigate out here. You let people know, okay, gay people, lesbian people know, I ain't gonna mistreat you. I can show you love, but I cannot condone what you do. I cannot have alliance with what you do. That's what all these rappers, all these singers, everybody is at an all-time high. They give alliance to the gay community, the lesbian community. That's why we can't ride with them. Because half of them, all these rappers, you already know who they are, man. They have alliance with the gay community. They might not be gay themselves, but they have alliance. So therefore, listen, this is where it gets tricky. We can't have alliance with those who are gay or those who are in alliance with those who are gay. Now you see why we're not in America. We're boxed out. The true people of God cannot be in alliance with those who are in alliance with gay people. You can only be in alliance with those who are righteous. Now you see what's going on. The average people, all in these stores, all in the merchants, all these merchants, all of them are in alliance with gay and lesbian people. That's why we don't connect with them. Because they are in alliance with gay and lesbian people. That's what it is. That's why we don't connect with people at the stores, the grocery stores, the phone places, the merchants, the department stores. You don't feel that connection, like that humanity connection like it used to be. Like I'm ringing up my stuff and we talking and they ain't connecting with you like that. You know why? Because you are righteous and they are in alliance with the homosexual and lesbian community, and it's that energy in their spiritual vibrational DNA that disconnects with your vibrational DNA. They have alliance with the homosexual and lesbian community in their vibrational DNA. That's why their vibration can't connect to yours. Because you repel alliance. You have a righteous vibration. How can a righteous vibration connect to a vibration that's in alliance with the homosexual and lesbian community? You can't connect. Nope. You can't. You can't connect like you used to. That's why it's all like it is. And it's other issues, and it gets more sophisticated. Beyond connection, they start opposing us. They start fighting us. Because they are connected to them. They're in alliance with them. You see how it happens. This is the main issue, I'm telling you, that is become the great separation in America. The great separation is those who are righteous and those who are in alliance with gay people and those who are actually gay themselves and those who are actually lesbians themselves. That's the great separation in this country. That's the main underlining issue that separates us all. Because besides these other things, money, helping each other, we believe in America, woo woo woo, all that stuff, right? What separates our vibration is we're righteous and they're in alliance with gay people. That's why no matter what we do, I'm telling you what it is on a spiritual level, on a high-ranking spiritual level, we will never totally connect with them because they're in alliance with gay people. They're in alliance with lesbians. So when we interact with Americans, right, most of them are in alliance with them. So although we talk to them about our problems, we might talk to them, they might help us with our problems. To go to that next level of real connection between us and the Americans, it never happens because of what's in their DNA, their vibrational DNA. What's in their vibrational DNA is alliance with homosexuals and lesbians. So although we talk to them to help us with our problems, or we assist them, we give them things, they give us things. When it comes to that connection that you usually expect with humanity, it doesn't happen. You know why? Because in their vibrational DNA, they have alliance with homosexuals and lesbians and transsexuals and everything in between on that side. And it's not being hateful. We can offer love, but we cannot offer alliance. Okay, with that being said, that's the condition of the battlefield. And that's why, our mind is just stuck on just seeing this all come down, seeing this all fall apart. That's the conclusion. We just, now that it's like this and it's what it is, what we gonna do as God's righteous people? This is falling down. We don't care about nothing but seeing this American community fall. That's what we care about. That's all we care about. That's what we care about. That's what we care about. Because I'm telling you, behind all of this stuff is the gay and lesbian community. They behind it. Why you just thinking it's just American soldiers or American police, and you think you could probably reason with, you can't, because they know you live righteous. You see what I'm saying? It's many of them that know you don't agree with their lifestyle. It ain't even they know, they're smart enough to know we can't even talk about it. Nope, we can't talk about it. You see us fasting and seeking the Lord. We ain't even smoking. We ain't even smoking weed. We barely even having a drink. We're not drinking excessively, at least, because drinking is in the Bible. We know that in Proverbs 31, right? Okay, so, but we're not like getting crap-faced drunk, and we're not having promiscuous sex, right? So they already know, man. They already know we ain't gonna connect with that, with their spirit and what they doing. Do you realize that we're not going to connect with these Americans and what they're doing? That's what I'm saying. As a righteous person, have you come to terms with that? How far this has become, how far this has went. Well, we ain't going to connect with those people. Like, we ain't going to, how you need to hear it, we're not going to connect with the Americans like we used to. Nope, all that time is gone because of the great divide of those who are righteous and those who went with the gay and lesbian community as far as being gay and lesbian or being in alliance with them. Okay? That's the great separation. That's why it's never going to be like it was, like it once was, like where even the preacher would come with these these movements. They don't even really want the preacher there no more because they don't want Christianity there no more. See, back in the day in the civil rights movement, you would have preachers come with the black people and march with the black people and things like that. But we're going to be more boxed out because we're Christians. They don't want that kind of energy there. The gay lesbian community, they'll have movements, but they don't want us there. Not at least talking and preaching and talking like this. They don't want us there for that reason. So then we can't really come together. Like, you see what I'm saying? We can't really come together because you're going to believe in believe in live and let live. That's what you're gonna believe in as a whole American community, and I understand that. It doesn't mean that I don't, even though I don't agree with it, I understand it, right? I don't have to agree with something to understand it. I understand it without agreeing with it, right? But I live righteous, and you should understand that without agreeing with it. Without agreeing with that, you should understand it. I live righteous according to the Bible. What the Bible said. I didn't make the rules. Okay? The Bible is the rules. I didn't make the rules, right? But I live according to those rules. So if you're simple-minded, you act like I made the rules up. Did I make the rules? I didn't make the rules. We just enforce the rules. That's all we do. I live by the rules and I enforce the rules. That's it. I live by the rules and I enforce the rules. Now the simple-minded person will act like I made up the rules. And if you wasn't a coward, you would have a problem with the Bible. You wouldn't have a problem with a Christian. Well, the Christian is following the Bible. So the person that's a real man or woman, you're gonna have a problem with the Bible. You ain't gonna have a problem with me. But that's the coward. That's the coward in you to try to fight against me, but you don't got a problem with the Bible. Make it make sense. When you got a problem with me, but you ain't got a problem with the Bible. Make it make sense. That's all I'm saying. So, for God's true people, salute. Over and out.